Welcome back to Alpha Insights. I'm Adam. Today we're talking cannabis policy and why this coming week could matter for the sector. Joining me is Jessica, who covers policy and markets. Remember, if you have questions as we go, you can ask us at stockalpha.ai.
Thanks, Adam. Good to be here.
So Jessica, there's a big hearing on federal rescheduling of cannabis that's drawing attention this weekend. Give us the headlines in plain language.
Sure. In short, there's a federal hearing on rescheduling set for next week, and reporters and a member of Congress have pushed the Drug Enforcement Administration to make the hearing public via live stream. The DEA has already said it will call a doctor to speak about cannabis helping pain patients, and an official from the Food and Drug Administration is listed too.
Live streaming. That seems straightforward, but why does it matter so much?
Live streaming matters because it gives everyone, patients, researchers, markets, real-time visibility into what witnesses say and how regulators respond. If testimony emphasizes clinical benefits, it can shift the framing from strictly law enforcement to medical considerations, which changes the conversation about banking, research access, and even public perception.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The timing here is important for traders and observers. Quick reminder, U.S. markets were closed on Saturday. The last trading day was Friday, June 26th, and the next open is Monday, June 29th. So any policy headlines over the weekend are going to be digested at the Monday open.
Exactly. So the real question here is whether live streaming happens and what the witnesses actually say. Medical testimony from DEA and FDA witnesses could push the narrative toward clinical benefit. Analysts note that kind of shift can change regulatory expectations and how people price risk in the sector.
Okay, let's pivot to hemp policy. There was a move at the federal level as well?
Right. The administration asked Congress to either create a regulatory pathway for full-spectrum hemp products or delay enforcement against hemp-derived THC products. That puts pressure on lawmakers to act quickly if they want to avoid an immediate federal crackdown.
What does that mean for companies that make hemp-derived products?
It means uncertainty, but also a window of opportunity. If Congress moves to regulate, we could see standardized rules for labeling, safety, and testing. If lawmakers delay enforcement, producers get more time to comply and fewer immediate disruptions. Either outcome changes compliance costs and market access for those businesses. And I mean, when you look at the data on how consumers use these products, clarity tends to help legitimate brands and hurts the worst actors. So regulation can be a net positive for quality control over time.
There were also state-level moves and cultural stuff in the mix over the weekend, right?
Yes, a few examples. Louisiana moved forward with a psychedelic-assisted therapy pilot using opioid settlement money, and Washington State launched a cannabis information campaign aimed at World Cup visitors to avoid accidental misuse. Plus, cultural coverage, like a new series tying cannabis to travel and sports, keeps the normalization story alive.
So those state actions are sort of separate, but they matter.
They do. State pilots and education campaigns are often early indicators of consumer demand and can create business opportunities outside traditional cannabis channels. But federal policy still tends to be the primary risk and catalyst for the major companies and ETFs in the space.
Quick, practical watch list. What should listeners track when markets open Monday?
Focus on whether the DEA agrees to live stream and the substance of testimony from the DEA and FDA witnesses. Watch for any congressional action on hemp after the administration's request. Also pay attention to state implementation timelines for pilots and campaigns. For specific names, analysts are watching major sector-focused exchange-traded funds and companies such as the Advisor Shares Pure U.S. Cannabis ETF, Trulieve, Green Thumb Industries, Curaleaf, and Tilray for potential volatility at the Monday open based on weekend headlines. Remember, that's informational, not a recommendation.
Got it. Any quick risks or caveats we should call out?
Yes, regulatory outcomes are uncertain. Testimony doesn't equal rule changes. And even if the tone shifts toward medical benefits, congressional action or agency rulemaking can take months. So, expect headlines and short-term swings, but also a longer timeline for concrete policy changes.
Right.
One important note: this is discussion and analysis only. It's not personalized investment advice, and it doesn't mean anyone should buy, sell, or hold any specific security.
Good reminder. Okay, let's wrap with 3 quick takeaways for listeners.
Number 1, the DEA rescheduling hearing and whether it's live streamed is the near-term catalyst to watch. Number 2, the administration's request around hemp regulation creates a short window for Congress that could affect product rules and compliance timelines. Number 3, state programs and cultural coverage continue to normalize use, but federal policy remains the main risk driver.
Perfect. Thanks, Jessica. And listeners, if you have questions about anything we discussed today, you can ask us directly at stockalpha.ai. We answer listener questions live. And for more market insights, head over to stockalpha.ai.